we're here, days are not days because they're essentially feel like weeks, but in a good way, but also in an exhausting way.
For real.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I'll probably remember.
And then when we get home, our boss doesn't recognize the fact that we've been gone. And then it's immediately like,
yep.
So where's this document that I asked for last Friday at 2:57 p.m.?
It was probably the worst impersonation I've ever heard of him. John, are we good? Are we here?
Ready to go?
We are here.
Oh.
I
was really having a moment right there.
Kind of in our own little moment there. But hello and welcome everybody to episode 4 of Sony After Hour Support with the incredible Larry.
It's your boy.
And unfortunately with me,
Unfortunately.
Derek. Yes.
Settle down.
Okay. Yeah, so STE, Sony Technology Enthusiast. I was just talking about, I couldn't remember if I replied to a comment this morning or if that was yesterday or if I did. I don't recall. So call me out. Yeah, if that's a thing. We already have it, but hello to everybody as well out there. Ronan, Joey B, of course. It's time for a multipolar world. We got to find a shorter way to refer to you with full respect of your name. So if you have an idea, please let us know because we would like to do that for you. And Lindsay Wolmoth, I hope I said that right, welcome as well. And we already have a question. And let's just dive into that question just because it's fun to.
Yep.
Lindsay had a question. What is up with 3.0 antenna decode on Sony TVs? Is that something that you want to take, Larry?
Yeah, so it's a mystery. I'm not kidding. It can be a mystery because there's so many different elements of it, and the rollout of it has been
it's very weird.
Yeah,
because it's not a Sony thing.
Right.
That's happening.
Right.
So that's what makes it weird.
And that's the thing. So we will, as far as I know, continue support because some aren't.
Right.
Continuing support. We will continue support because there are a lot of benefits to next gen TV and ATSC 3.0. It's great. The ability to be able to get high definition over the air, both video and audio, which is super cool. So it does have its benefits. However, we're sort of at the mercy of the infrastructure of the different networks that are updating their system to be able to reflect that. So we'll continue our part. We were early adopters in ATSC 3.0. ATSC 3.0.
ATSC,
I always do that.
Yeah.
ATSC 3.0. So we'll continue to do that until it just doesn't fit the needs of the consumer.
Right.
So.
Well, I know because it feels so sporadic. Because I know it was supposed to be in my area, I want to say 2 years ago. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But it's coming slowly but surely. But it's nice that we do have the ability to have a TV that's capable for it. Because when you get a TV, you do anticipate to have it for a number of years.
Right.
So whenever it does roll out to wherever you happen to be, then you can take advantage of those features.
Right.
Which will be pretty cool. So I hope that answers the question. But if you have more, let us know.
And if not, if you know a friend in Arizona, like it's pretty close to full blast in Arizona. Maybe phone a friend. I might phone a friend. So we'll see. It's cool. All right, what's going on?
Yeah, Joey B's got the flex count for episode 4 going. So
I'm not gonna say, Joey. Not gonna say we have a surprise for you.
It's not a surprise, but it might be a surprise.
But just wait a second.
Just wait a second. Yeah, we'll see when we get there.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, let's do it.
Yeah. So. Thank you all, of course, for being here again. I feel like you had something you wanted to share in the beginning of this, but I don't know if that's changed or if I'm completely wrong and thinking of a different time, which is very possible.
Yeah, you are. I don't. You had something you wanted to tell me.
I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there. I've been terribly under the weather for way too long, so I'm going to do my best to muscle through for everybody and for you, Larry, of course, as well. Is that a flex? Does that count as a flex? No, I'll let Joey be the judge on that.
He's
but
got the count.
I'm going to do my best to not blow up.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're here because it wouldn't be the same without you. Just want you to know that.
Thanks.
I care.
Warm and fuzzies right
you
there.
Should.
Appreciate that.
That's how we roll. Cool.
So if you want to, because there's a lot that's happening, if you want to kind of cruise through that really quickly while I kind of get set up for the first section. There we go. Release radar because we did have a lot of stuff. There you go. Well done. I was wondering if I was going to throw you off by having you look at some stuff. Release radar, we're going to talk about some of the cool stuff that has been announced since the last time that we spoke. And I have 2 of the 3 new microphones that were announced. We did announce, let's start with this one, because I actually do like, I wish I could have it kind of closer. I'm not sure what sort of B-roll. Put it in front of my face so you can see a little better. This is the, is there something funny about that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This is the ECM S1. This is actually a really cool idea. The idea of a lot of these microphones, or this little group that's come out, is for that singular vlogger, but also with an option for multiple recording multiple people as well. But this is a great little microphone that's kind of similar to this sort of a setup, but super simplified, super light, very easily travelable. I can't think of the word. Portable. Who said portable? Brownie points for you, sir. Well done. But it actually has a lot of really cool features. The super portability of it. It does have this little stand that comes with it. You can actually thread it onto a boom or a tripod or something like that. And then you just have this wireless receiver that plugs into the multi-interface shoe of the Sony camera. It's super cool, super convenient. I actually haven't had a chance to test it because we actually just got a chance to get our hands on this today. But I love the idea of it. Comes with a little pop guard as well, so no popping of the lips, making things weird. And we also have the ECM W3.
Okay.
This is actually very similar. It's sort of the evolution to the ECM W2BT. I remember that because I did a video on that, and that one I can't tell you how many times I messed up because I had to get those letters right.
Proud of you.
But thank you. This one, these are awesome, and honestly, we've been using the ECM W2BTs in a lot of our videos that we do. I should be looking at the right camera. Sorry, John. I apologize, sir. I'm gonna look at it now. There we go.
You should just keep switching.
Keep switching so he doesn't know. And as soon as he switches over, I'll switch back.
Look, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, this makes sense to have it there. But the ECM W3 actually comes with 2 receivers. So you have, transmitters, and then you have the one receiver to the camera. Wow, English language today is not working for me.
Well, you said you were under the weather.
I
felt
am.
Like you were
and
setting
I was
us
thinking
up
about
for
where under the weather came from, like that saying. I don't know what that means. If anybody knows, please, I'd be interested to know. But anyway, super light. These actually can just clip onto whatever. I'm just going to clip it there for now, just because I can. Bump in my mic. And then, of course, wireless to the camera. Super convenient, and you can have 2 of them at the same time. So if you're doing an interview or a podcast style, you can do that totally wirelessly. Super convenient, super light. They give you a lot of flexibility for low cut, noise cut as well. And what I like about these, too, is the safety feature. When it sounds weird.
No, but I'm intrigued.
Right. So I know in seeing how a lot of times things can get a little crazy when you're out vlogging in the real world. There's some people, like when Larry gets excited, like it gets a little loud at times, which is why I'm glad that like you back up from these mics, but it can get intense. And what I like about the safety feature is that it will actually record a minus 20 dB version. So that way, if you do have something that's like super loud and might peak and you lose all of that definition in the sound, you'll have this backup for it. How that works as far as like setting it up, I don't know because I haven't done it yet, but that is a feature of it.
Yeah, I think, you know what I really love about both of them, honestly, and this started back with the W2B.
ECM W2BT.
Thank you. If I just point, you got that right?
Yep, gotcha.
So a product that we used to, or a product that we currently use that we started using,
ECM W2BT,
is amazing. And one of the things I love about it is because if you have one of our more recent alpha cameras, the receiver is on the hot shoe, which now it's able to capture digital sound. It's a small thing, right? So many of the plug-in connected 3.5 millimeter jack mic, it's more of an analog experience, but it's when you're talking about a podcast or if you're talking about video production and development, to be able to have that digital execution of clarity is a win. And I love to see it carried forward even on the S1, from a podcast standpoint. And obviously we've seen the testing, or we've had those discussions about it's like you just sit in the middle of the table and you and I could have this conversation, and because it can pick up the sound from that experience, it's just great experience. So love it. It's dope.
Yeah, and the last one I do want to mention as well is the ECM W3S. Oh man, he was on top of that. Well done, John. This is basically the same as the W3, but it's singular.
Is that what that stands for?
I believe so. And since we're on it, we'll go to our segment later. But ECM, I believe, and I could be wrong, but it sounds good.
Save it.
I'm going to save it. Never mind.
Save it. Don't
Stay
share.
tuned.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Well,
Were you ready?
Too bad.
Just hold on. I see you.
I know. I see it on the screen there. He's getting ready.
This is awesome.
So there's been a couple of questions that have popped up that I want to. When did I see that one?
It's from Lindsay. That was interesting.
Well, we answered that one. I don't know if there was a follow up.
She had a second question.
Where is that?
Lindsay's question is, she says, my Sony A80K glitches continuously with the over-the-air antenna installed by professionals.
Interesting.
So,
It's tough when it comes to over-the-air stuff, though. Like, if it's, like, antenna, like, I remember one of the issues that I had when I first got a digital antenna, I didn't realize, but I had aluminum siding. And I had it inside because I didn't want it like in the window, and I had just gotten it for hockey, the playoffs,
Right.
and it just didn't work. I think I got like 4 or 5 channels. I was like, man, what is up with this? Not thinking. I was like, well, I'll try this, and I put it up in my window, which is literally like, I don't know, 24 inches higher in the window, and I got like 80 something channels.
Okay.
Like, it's incredible the amount of things that can impact a signal of over the air.
Right.
It may not be your house. It might be too dense of trees. It might be elevation differences, buildings around you. It's awkward because you really can't necessarily narrow it down easily.
Right.
To is it the TV? It's unlikely. It's more likely the signal. But how do you fix that?
Yeah,
Try
I wish
something
we
that
had. I
can
wish we
amplify
had
it,
a
but-
solution for that. I think it's
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. But I don't. Again, I don't want to even try to diag it by saying, yeah, we'll have the installer come back out and test it, because I'm not sure what steps you've taken. But to Derek's point, it could be a lot of external factors that does create that. So
Yep.
that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's some other stuff happening on here too.
The is it okay if I call you STE, Sony Technology Enthusiast? Because that's a lot to say as well. I hope that's okay. Let me know if it's not, because I will fix that. The Xperia Reddit community is always asking.
You don't even have to finish it. You don't have to listen.
Oh my gosh! I'm just gonna let Larry take this because I remember when we first got this phone in our hands. I remember getting a message on Teams, and Larry's like, "Where's the LED notification?" I had no idea what he was talking about, and apparently it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I want to be clear. This doesn't diminish how spectacular the Xperia 1 Mark V is. I love this phone. I even got
that fancy case.
The fancy case.
I don't remember the model number of the case, but
definitely don't know the model number. But I absolutely love everything about this. It's not a disqualifier that it doesn't have the LED notification.
right.
It's just that I've been spoiled.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I know.
Because I'm with you. Like, I guess I didn't realize it at first, mainly because people don't talk to me, but that's okay. I understand that. But like going back and thinking about it, I was like, that's right. Sometimes I would just have it on the counter,
Right.
and just seeing that flash, be like, oh, I did miss something.
Well, this is one of those moments where we talk about all the time, where we have the chance to be the voice of the customer. We have the chance to be the voice of you all, and I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. It is nice for me to leave my home office or wherever I'm at, and I have my phone on the countertop or whatever, and I come back, I sit down, and I give it the glance. I don't see a blinking light. I know my boss has not reached out to me.
Hello.
In this case, the boss is my wife.
That's fair.
So I know this. She hasn't reached out to me, so I know I can proceed along my day without changing course. But anyway, so trust me, we have let people know that we would like to see that back.
And to that point, I do want to quickly circle back to something that. Can you circle back to something you didn't say yet? I don't think so. This is something I've said in the past. But those of you who are watching that are new, welcome. Thank you for being with us. But
right.
I want to let you know a couple things. What this show is, very briefly, we are here to give you some awesome Sony information to help you get more out of technology, maybe learn something you didn't know about, as well as answer any of your questions that we can answer. There are certain things we can't, or go into deep diagnostics or anything like that, but we'll be happy to at least acknowledge the question because we are listening, which is really a big part of what we are doing, is letting you know that we are here to listen. in calling out that LED indicator. Oh, we know, and we have communicated that to the proper people. Will it be fixed? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But
I smile when you say that.
What?
Because you say what you just said. You say it so perfectly.
Because I believe it.
I know. That should be your disclaimer. That should be your personal thing.
My disclaimer?
It's
I need a disclaimer?
We want to be able to do everything for you.
I do.
But I know. But sometimes we don't have the answers.
I know. And it does bother me.
Yeah.
That there is so much. And like the you smarter people that are out there know that like there are certain things that I don't know that they are answering. So I want to thank the community, which is awesome. You guys are fantastic. Yeah. And I appreciate all of you guys that are here with us consistently. And a lot of times you guys take that time to answer these questions that some other folks have. And that's awesome. That's awesome. But for those that feel like they're not being supported in some way, please let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll do our best to support in any way that we can.
Yep. 100%.
Also, last thing I want to add in here really quickly. If you are trying to find out the perfect product for yourself, that's a whole discussion that we would love to have, but unfortunately we don't have the time for. But we do have the Sony one-on-one consultation program available to you. That'll be linked in the description. So if you want to spend about 30 minutes to talk about it to an expert like myself, man, I'm going into that spiel, the outro. Please let us know, because then we can have that conversation, have that back and forth dialogue to help you find the right product. It's not about finding the most expensive or like the top tier. We're not pushing that way. We want to find the right one that fits your needs, 100%. Maybe exceeds what you thought was possible to help your life.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. I love how this always happens, how we detour, we make several lefts and rights.
Yes.
But I need to get back to the release radar.
Yeah, because there's a couple things I'm going to look at. So if you want to do that, I'll take a look at some stuff that we can cover next.
So if we can do the release radar again, I just want to cover just a couple things. All right, just a couple things. All right, cool. So bright and early this morning, surprise, product announcement. It's almost as if we scheduled this live stream specifically to be able to be here with you all to talk about new products, right?
Or did we?
Yep. Say that again, sorry. Did I hear something? Did I miss something?
Or did we?
Or did we? Sometimes things just work out, right? Sometimes the universe just aligns things. Anyway, so right here in front of me, this is one of our brand new Inzone products. This is the H5 headset, and in front of that is the Inzone Buds. Okay, super cool. I learned something today. Hold on. Let me talk about this really quick with the H5. Okay, so price point is great. Okay, not sure if I just want to make sure that the information I have on price is right or not. I won't disclose that. John, I'm sure, can bring something up. Anyway, from a design standpoint, obviously when we launched the H7 and H9 and skip the H3, we were trying to touch on all the different types of headsets that gamers look for, whether it's wired, whether it's wireless, whether there was a need for noise canceling, whatever the situation is. That was strategic. So when you release 3 distinctly different products that have some shared features, you're able to get feedback from the consumer or from enthusiasts such as yourselves, what works and what you really love. And when I look at the H5, I think that it's a product that's like the happy medium for what the masses are out there. Look, we all know I am an avid gamer. I'm that dude on Uno, virtual Monopoly.
That's
Seriously,
hardcore games.
I crush it on all levels.
Hardcore games. That's for
I don't
sure.
even care if you choose the car. You see what I'm saying?
That's the best one. Just saying.
Anyway, but I know gamers. And funny thing about that is I know most gamers don't like to be referred to as a gamer. But that's a whole nother conversation, at least according to my son. But 2 things that jump out to me about the H5 that I think is awesome. Okay, first of all, like the boom mic was that was something that we introduced on our previous models, but AI noise reduction, right? So that's a big thing, right? To be able to have that level of noise reduction, to be able to sort of isolate what's going on. We all know. I learned something this morning from the live stream team. I learned something from them. It was great. They were talking about campers.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's what you put on the back of a truck bed.
Oh, my gosh. Larry, the gamer. You know that you have just, so many people have just been aghast at what you just said. I'm a little disappointed in you.
But I grew, right? I learned something. Anyway, So having that feature is one of those things, coupled with some of the amazing features that are on our TVs, right? Such as black equalizer, whatever. Anyway, but it allows and helps that. Additionally, a small thing that's not even really listed in a major feature, but that I think was a big thing, was the change in color. I'm sorry, the additional color. Let me be clear.
Right, yeah, because it's new. Yeah.
Right. Some of the confusion that happened with the launch of Inzone was, is it a PC headset? Is it designed for PlayStation? It's white, looks just like a PlayStation. Should I only buy it for that? There was a lot of confusion there. And then there created some confusion about, well, what's the difference between the Inzone headset and then also the PlayStation 3D, whatever it's called. I forgot. Sorry. I don't mean that in a negative way, but the PlayStation headsets. Anyway. But I personally felt, this is not any of the business units or anyone involved with the product line, but I personally felt that not having an all-black headset sort of, in a way, alienated many of the PC gamers out there that have a black and red configuration or whatever.
So many of them have like a scheme to what they're doing as they build it and really make it personalized. But
and the white just didn't work. Anyway, but so I'm really excited. So H5, just heads up, H5, 28 hours of battery life. Just trying to make sure I get this right. 28 hours of battery life, personalized spatial audio, which is also a big thing, right? It does support Tempest audio for those PS5 users out there that are trying to just make sure that it also supports that. It does support 3D Tempest audio from PlayStation 5. The comfortability on it is on point. We've nailed it. Like, it's so comfortable, so lightweight. We understand that the people are gaming enthusiasts, want to play for long hours, and that's a big deal. And the other thing that I learned today,
I know where you're going. I knew where you're going as soon as you said that. Playing all day.
What is it called again?
It's the headphone dent.
The head dent, right?
Yeah.
I learned that. It's like a head dent. Do you guys know if you know what a head dent is? Get in the chat and just make sure I'm not the only one that had never heard that. But it was crazy when I saw it. Anyway, but super dope product. Really excited about that. The other thing is the right here. I definitely know you guys won't be able to see this, but the Inzone buds. The reason why I brought up head dent is because some of the first initial reactions about the Inzone buds was, yes, no more head dent.
No more head dent.
Which is crazy, right?
So
really
weird.
Excited about that. A lot of the same features that we've talked about, like battery life, comfortability, and things like that, on point. It is definitely an amazing product. I have these here. There are four different earbud tip sizes. I know this is black. I'm wearing black. This is just definitely not working.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But they do have silicone tips. So the idea is to make sure that whomever is utilizing them or using them can make sure they have the most comfortable fit. So, super.
Great comment from Brayden, by the way.
Okay. I can't. Head dent. When you have Larry here.
That's when you see it, if you have it. When you have Larry here.
I'm not going to take that as shots fired.
It's
but,
not.
You know.
It's not. It's out
I
of love,
appreciate
I'm
it. No,
sure.
it's right. Yeah. Okay, there it is. All right, cool. So I'm sorry. I know I went long-winded.
No, it's all good.
Product.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the release radar. So lots of cool stuff has come out very recently, and actually the Inzone, the H5 and the buds were announced today, wasn't it? Yeah, it was today. So
you know what we should do?
you go.
You know what we need to do? We need to do an unboxing video on the Inzone headset since we have some time, both the Inzone buds and those. Well, we need to do an unboxing video really soon.
Can we talk about this later when we're not?
Oh, sorry.
We're working, but we're not that working. So back to the more important people, please. But yes, I'm sure we can. I do want to really quickly, before I get to a couple things that multipolar world has said, but I want to address very quickly K McCullough. Hopefully I said that right. STR AZ 5000 ES unable to output via height 2 terminal. It becomes 9.2 channel when using acoustic center sync instead of a 7.2.4 system. Hardware limitation or firmware update.
I didn't have that experience.
It shouldn't be a hardware limitation.
Yeah, it's not a hardware limitation.
That's going to be one of those tough things for us to figure out without, I'm assuming you went through the process. Sounds like you have a lot of stuff and you kind of know what's going on, which is good. Without going through like the full setup and a walkthrough, I don't think I have an answer because I've not heard of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it has to be assigned in the system or what is it by default. That's what I'm trying to. I'll look. While
We'll
we're
see if we
doing
can
this.
find some
I'll see
extra
what I can do.
information for you. But as of right now, it's not something that I am aware of. But of course, I don't know everything. That's why I have Larry here to support me with that. So we'll see if we can find out something for you in the meantime.
Yeah.
They do have a question here from Ty Williams. My X90J immediately turns itself off after I power it on and emits a loud audible click and appears to go through a software restart. Could it be internal power source issue? If it happens all of the time.
With X90, I'm sorry,
X90J.
X90J. Have you? So let me just go through the preliminary troubleshooting that we normally do in this situation. Have you done? And hopefully you can comment. Have you done full factory reset? That's the first thing. The second thing is, have you reached out to our customer support team? Traditionally, if you reach out to them, the great thing about that is they'll log your information, log the serial number of the product, and they're able to offer some additional support. I just have to say those two things. But the clicking and reset, that's very much unusual. And that's just very, check the, so here's another thing I'd like for you to do. Look at your build number and when you're going through your operating system, look up which build and software version you have, not your Android, but underneath there, you'll find what your software version is. And then go to our support website. You can go to esupport.sony.com. That's how I get there. Search your particular product number, and then also look up what the current firmware designation is, what the version is. If your version differs from that one, download that firmware to the USB, follow all the instructions, and do all that. Have it on the USB, power off the TV, plug the USB in, and turn the TV on. My hope is that if somehow, if it's a software thing and somehow it got hung up in its firmware process or whatever, and it's creating this vicious cycle, that you, by plugging in the USB, the system is designed for it to automatically read the USB drive first. Right. And if it recognizes an APK or if it recognizes a firmware update, it'll trigger that, and maybe that can clear up any mistakes that may have happened. I'm just trying to, without obviously being there to physically diagnose it, I'm just trying to give you some of the things that I personally would do if it was my television. Yeah. No, that's a good answer. And of course, too, yes, John?
There's also two more things. Excuse me. All right, Derek, you got me sick. No, just kidding.
Sorry.
There's also two more things. There's the what is it called? Power saver mode.
Yes.
Check it, toggle that on and off to see if it's fully shutting off versus just going to sleep. And also make sure there's no USBs attached to the TV.
Oh, that's
that has a firmware update.
Yeah.
Because it's going to try to reload that firmware every time you turn it back on.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll do, because there's a crazy way to force hard reset to reset the I don't want to say reset the motherboard, but like reset the TV. Like there's another level. It's the final, which requires some manual unplug, push button kind of thing. I'll see if I can find those instructions to do that and drop a link or give you those instructions, because I don't know if it'll allow me to put a link in there just so that you can try that as well. Just there's some other things that you can do, but again, most importantly, please contact support and let them know what's going on with the TV, just so that you can have that situation logged.
Good stuff. Man, you are a wealth of knowledge today. I'm impressed. Oh, is that what it is? There you go. Liquid knowledge. So just really quickly, I just want to, because we are not forgetting about you, but Multipolar World made a comment about going to see where, oh man, I got to go back here. It was a ways back here. I apologize. Recently on a trip to Shanghai, China, and visited the large 2-story flagship Sony store there, which is awesome. They had the 3D spatial reality monitors there. So I know we talked about that. I think it was last episode.
It was last episode, yeah.
Yeah, and it is one of those things that you have to like see it, because you can't really explain it. So I'm glad you got a chance to check that out, because that is amazing. Yeah. And then ST made a comment about, oh no, was it? I lost it. There's so many comments here. Yes, go ahead.
Alan. We can call him Alan.
Where is this?
Multipolar World at the bottom. Alan, I knew that was your name. I just didn't want to share that without your permission. So
awesome.
Yep, that's dope.
Alan, that's awesome. That will make things so much more simpler. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. There was another thing.
Malcolm, can I touch on? So Malcolm's comment he was hoping that we'd be using the new wireless podcast mic.
Yes.
So crazy. So let me just full transparency. We hope to do that. One of the crazy things that we do, because this is after hours, is when everyone leaves, we go upstairs and we just randomly walk around and look for product on people's desks. And if we see something that vaguely looks like something we've been looking for, well, sometimes it ends up on our desk.
But
right?
we always return it. It.
Yeah.
Just saying that for the record.
But anyway, so we didn't get it.
Before you move on, I had to flash a disclaimer.
There you go. There it is. There you go. We didn't get a chance to get it, to charge it, and to test it. You know, like, because obviously we're in a crazy environment. But we just wanted to. But again, I'm glad that you asked that.
Yeah,
so
we knew it was going to come up, and Malcolm did not let me down.
That's an episode 5 thing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll
because
test
that was another thing too that I don't know if it'll work with our setup.
Right.
Because they use the MI shoe, and we are actually using XLR to a separate thing that does stuff that John all takes care of. So I don't know if it can be easily integrated, but it was something we were wanting to do. So yeah, but thank you for bringing that up. I kind of was expecting that, so you didn't let me down. I appreciate that.
Not at all. Cool.
That's awesome. Right. There was another question. Let's see. Tom Williams said, yeah, I did do the factory reset, and last update added the new Eco dashboard. Reach out to customer support as well. Yeah,
let's get that looked at.
Yeah, let us know in the chat too, because again, we do follow the chat here as well after the fact when the live is over, and there will be also people that hopefully are catching this because it is after hours, so it might be too late for some people. We do watch the chat after and do respond to as much as we can. So if there is an issue, maybe we can try to. I don't know if there's anything we can do, but we're here to support any way we can.
Yeah.
So if there's
at
issues,
least if it's registered, we can. It gives us an opportunity.
Right.
To
it does
do something.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's going to be
just
critical.
take those steps, and again, to Derek's point, just you can update us in the comments here. We definitely check these.
Yeah. So before we get to the next section, I do want to also address this. Sam Walton says, "Hey guys, I still haven't been able to register and get product protection plan for my PlayStation products. Is there a reason we can register other non-PlayStation products but not PlayStation PS products?" I don't know. There's unfortunately a little bit of a separation from what we do versus the PlayStation side. But that is something that we can maybe try to find. Actually, it looks like John is already trying to find something. So hopefully we'll have an answer for you to some degree. And he's also asking if you have any special secrets for anybody today. So maybe we'll have to see. We will have to see.
It's a long show. Just wait.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we might as well go to the next section.
Yes, we should. Yes.
So did you know that there is another TV?
Yeah, there is.
I know you know.
Yeah, there is.
And I know that you want to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to let you do that.
So here's a cool thing, right? So we always talk like last month we talked about our TV lineup, in particular our OLED televisions. And they're great, and our LEDs are doing fantastic. Did you know that we have just recently announced the A75L OLED? And I am very intrigued to see what happens with this particular television. Okay.
Yeah. I think especially because limited time.
Right. Limited time, limited quantity.
Yes.
It's insane. So in holiday, so traditionally speaking, years and years ago, because, well, I've been around that long, right? At the end of the year, we would always hold that. Back in the day, I'm going to show my age real quick. It was in the XBR. Would come out in October, November. And then it evolved. It's like now the Master Series comes out, end of year, which A95L is out, which is dope, right? Not that we planned it that way, but yeah, it's good. But man, talk about holiday timing, dropping in a new model for the OLED segment that's at a great price point.
Yes.
Oh, man. A75L, and we talked a lot about A75L versus A80L.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
and it's like head scratcher because I don't have a head dent, but it's like head scratcher. It's like, how do we like, wow.
Yeah. And I do like that with those differences, right? We didn't sacrifice on the picture quality at all.
Nope.
Which really kind of surprises a lot of people. And the difference really comes from the audio side. I mean, it's really the three main differences, right? So you have it's acoustic audio, acoustic surface audio.
What are three names? Let's see. Come on. What are the three
Acoustic
main
surface audio.
That's one.
Versus acoustic surface audio plus. It's not a plus.
Right.
It does not have the hands-free Google voice search.
There it is. Okay.
And
that's
also
two.
has different stand legs.
Okay.
Right. So it's not the seamless edge design.
Right.
So it's a design difference, which if you're mounting it, not a problem.
Yep.
If you're using a sound bar or something like that, or
for us
audio
uninitiated,
Oh, hi.
can you explain acoustic surface
Can we
audio
get
and audio
there?
plus?
May I segue, please? Because I hear you because of your acoustic surface audio there. But yes, very very simply, the A80L versus the A75L. I don't know if I'm taking any of your thunder. I apologize if I am.
No, I'm used
I
to it.
literally just had a training on this on Friday.
I think you should
so
do it.
I talked about it.
That's fine.
The A80L has a more powerful center actuator that's supplemented by two left and right actuators as well. The A75L does not have that larger center one.
Right.
So it doesn't have quite as much power
Right.
and as much oomph and space in it.
Right.
Additionally, where the A80L has subwoofers on the bottom for more low frequencies, the A75L, they're full range speakers. So you're still getting expansive sound, but doesn't have the same depth or quite the same clarity that you would get on the A80L. So, which again, if you have an audio solution, not going to make a difference.
Yeah, and I think so. It's important. It's like it's huge difference, right? But man, A75L, it's clean. And to be
Yes.
clear, with respect to the different stands, right? A80L has multi-position stands. A75L does not.
Correct.
It's
yep.
the stand.
And they're not as like fashionable, modern
Not at
looking,
all.
but it, I know so many people mount the TV anyway, so it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I have an older Sony that has older style legs. It's not a big deal. I'm not that picky about it.
Yeah, if I can keep it real, dude, like I'm not gonna talk pricing because I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is either offhand, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Especially for, if you're looking for a great deal on an incredible TV, but it's like the price, and you're okay with those three differences, then it's an awesome option.
Yeah, and if I mean the expectation is that it's a little bit less than the A80 for me personally, if I'm buying it, and you talked about the audio differences, what a way to take that savings and throw it onto an audio equipment like a soundbar.
Yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
Yeah, because when you
Absolutely.
said picture quality is the same.
Yes.
It's the same. Just to be clear. So yeah, it's a great option.
Yeah,
While supplies last.
So if you are looking for a great TV, or if you know somebody that's looking for one for the holiday season, I don't know how long they're going to last, but it's going to be awesome. So that's a great did you know
For real.
fact there. I do have another did you know that I literally thought of last night.
Okay.
No, I don't know time anymore, dude. I am just lost. I don't know. It was 2 days ago,
At
3
some
days ago.
point.
I don't know. It was sometime in the past.
Yeah.
Previous to just this moment now. Did you know about the Sony support app that I use not as frequently as I should, mainly because of what I do, right? I should be more in the know. So that's a little bit of he's scrolling to it. So I'm going to show a little bit. Well, I'm not. John's going to do it. This is actually what it looks like on my app, and you can add in whatever models of whatever you have. And no, I do not own all of those things, but the reason I put them in there is so that I can get notifications and it's easier to find or get access to quick FAQs or common questions, manuals, as well as downloads. And I like that you can see latest firmware. Because I know I made a comment, I think it was last month, about updating your camera.
Yes.
And this is a great way to know when there is a new update for your camera, as well as every other Sony product that you might have. It's very easy to just have that downloaded, add the models that you have. And I know some of you are just Sony technology enthusiasts. Only one of you, actually. But the other ones that have that passion for Sony product as well. You can add that stuff in there, and you can just be in the know of what's going on. It tells you what the updates do.
So you know what's
Great
cool about
resource.
that? Yeah. So here's okay. Joey, this will be my first flex.
Oh,
It's not an official flex.
okay. It's not the one.
No, but this is we'll call this the pre-flex. Okay.
Okay.
Cool thing about the app, which I learned, when you do register all of your products on there, it's just so funny because I work for Sony and I ask like, hey guys, when there's a firmware update that's happening, can you give me the heads up, let me know and all that stuff? And like, oh sure, Larry, we'll let you know. And yeah, that never happens. But because I registered all or included all of my products on the app, all of my TVs give me the notification. You ready, Joey? Whether it's the A95K, A9F, A90J, A8H. Sorry. I didn't want to
I
disappoint
was gonna say,
Joey.
should I just walk away while you continue to list
I didn't
all
want
the
to
models?
disappoint Joey.
No, that's
but
fair.
yeah, but it is cool because I know that there's a firmware update available. And sometimes, if you guys don't know, the way firmware rolls out, right, it's usually like a 10% rollout first. We get the information, make sure that the firmware took and everything works perfectly. Then it gradually then goes to 25% rollout, so on and so forth. Cool thing about this is you get this notification right around the 10% mark. So sometimes your TV isn't ready to receive the OTA automatically. Well, that's what OTA stands for, right?
Right. So I think
Over
so.
the air, yeah. But if you go in there and check for firmware updates, it's there waiting on you because it's just, even though it didn't fall in queue for you, it's there waiting on you. So just a heads up, it's a great app. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So make sure you check that out. It's a great resource to keep up to date on all this stuff because updates are important. And speaking of updates, we have some updates. See if he's ready. Oh, he was ready. All right. Well done. Well done, John. I appreciate that. Before we get into, I want to start with the conversation we had. I think it was last month. And I think I'm not going to call this person out, but I know there was somebody that likes to hang out with, that we appreciate you hanging out with us, that was going to take a look and see how the WF-1000X Mark Vs, there was that common question of, I think it was the right draining faster than the left.
Right.
And I know you have an update on what you tested.
Yeah, you know what the update is?
Yes.
I could not replicate the problem.
Yes, I knew that.
I have I've taken 3 flights, and you guys know I have, but my normal noise canceling situation is earbuds to the plane, and then when we're ready to push back, I put headphones on because I don't want anybody talking to me, right? That's normally how it works. However, this time no, not really. Because I travel with WFM5s and WHM5s? No, that's not a flex at all.
Nope, that's not.
Anyway, so I started case at 100%, left and right buds at 100% in the car on my way to the airport and started at that point. I took several screenshots, which I should have provided for John because that would have been great for you guys to see it. I logged a 6-hour total time for me driving to the airport, taking the flight, and then getting the baggage claim. And I looked at it. I never got a percent of battery life differential more than 6%.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I think when I landed, it was like 38% right. I'm sorry, 32% right, 38% left. I think is roughly, if I recall correctly, maybe it was 20 something. Forgive me for not remembering, and I did it on the way home, and then I did it again, and it's like I don't hear it as much, interestingly enough, but I hear about it, but I can't replicate it. So it's just very interesting. I don't know if there's any variables within the app. I don't know if maybe you need to, find my equalizer and it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that, but I don't know the situation. But yeah, that was my update. I did test it, and I know that some of our friends here were going to test it as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you have any feedback, I'd be interested to know if you guys experienced it or did not. Just so we can kind of get an idea, because I don't know if it's something that's been mitigated or if it was a fluke or whatever the case may be. Right. And the other update, which is not really part of our thing, but I think it's essential to talk about, is should I give it to you? I'm going to let you take this one because I know that it's been bothering you to a certain degree in certain aspects. So I'm going to let you take this one, actually.
Yes. The update, which just recently happened, is Sony Pictures Core. Dope. So we've always been excited about Bravia Core because it unlocks so much content, the quality of content, the way it looks. If we talk about Pure Stream, for those that are new and don't know much about this, Bravia Core is a streaming service app that's available on our Bravia XR TVs. And it houses a couple of things. It houses some incredible movies from Sony Pictures. It also houses the largest library of IMAX enhanced content, but there is a feature that you can activate on there called Pure Stream. So, side note to everyone out there, your streaming services such as Hulu, your streaming services that are out there that you frequent and love are giving you about, come on, Larry, I thought I had it. Okay, your streaming platform right now that you can give you about 25 megabytes per second is roughly what it's giving you. And if you think about it, the more data that can be fed to the TV and then uncompressed, anyway, from the TV, the better your quality is, whether it's video or audio, right? On Bravia Core, on our Bravia XR TVs, Pure Stream allows you up to 80 megabytes per second. It is the highest bandwidth streaming service on the planet. Mm-hmm. Okay. Should I say that again?
If you want to.
Okay. It's the highest bandwidth streaming platform on the planet.
What's the benefit of that, though?
Higher quality, greater clarity, greater motion. All of those things that you go to the store, like, I want to buy a TV that has great color, contrast, clarity, and motion. Yeah, all that. It does all of those things so much better than anything else. But that's not what we're talking about. I just need to set the stage for exactly what Bravia Core is. And in the PlayStation community, that is a multimedia console, right? One of the big things about the PlayStation console, the PS5 and PS4, by the way, was it's not limited to be a game console. It's truly an entertainment console because you have the ability to play your games that you love and then also enjoy streaming content as such.
Right.
Because it is such a powerful machine, honestly, it begged the question, why do I not have this level of support or an app like this? So this was just announced this week, super exciting. And because this happened, it was a name change, of course. Bravia Core was Bravia Core because it existed only on the Bravia televisions. But now that it's been opened up, and we should see it continue to open up to more devices, hopefully, knock on wood, it's now Sony Pictures Core because Sony Pictures is the parent owner of that app. And it did not only go to PlayStation 5, to be clear, but it's also on PlayStation 4, which further underscores our commitment to post-purchase support, improvements, and enhancements of products that you've already owned.
Yeah, whenever possible. That's
so long
that's
as there's
always
no
the
hardware
tricky part.
limitations.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Awesome. Before we continue on, because there's some stuff I do want to address really quick.
Sweet.
So Malcolm made a comment about he went almost a month without knowing about the new update for some of his cameras, and excited to try out some of the new features. So that's one of the great things about having the application is that you can get more aware of what's available to your products and get them updated. So that's a good call out. And
also, it just so happens we're using an FX3 right now.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
That is true.
Yep.
We also have a comment here. Is Sony worried that they might be releasing too many earbuds? XM5s, new Inzone earbuds. PlayStation's soon to release the Pulse Explorer earbuds. I can't say that I disagree with this disclaimer. This is just my personal opinion. Right. It does seem like a lot, but I think everything sort of has a specialty place for where it fits and who it's designed for. And I think there's often times, and I'm not saying this is the case for this and that maybe there is a way to streamline it a little bit more, probably, but I don't know much about the tech side of it or logistics, whatever. Right. But I know there's often times we have a lot of people that are like, well, why do you have this and you have this and you have this? Or these features that you have that nobody uses. Somebody's using them.
Right.
Right. It's a good fit for somebody. It's good to have options, but sometimes it can feel like it is a lot.
And on that, it's very interesting. So if you think about the dynamic of products and how we hear about a particular product, if you are an avid console gamer or PC gamer, your world, whether it's social media algorithms, search engines, whatever the case may be, it would be more likely to introduce you to Inzone Buds or an Inzone H357 or 9 than possibly WFM5s. If you're a traveler and you do some of those things, you're, from a marketing and advertising standpoint, if you will, you're more likely to see that. As consumers, we always want to feel like a product was designed with our lifestyle and needs in mind.
Yeah.
So asking a gamer to use a commuter's noise canceling headphones, or that's the perception, if you will, won't work. What really won't work is having that commuter say that if you want that, go get PlayStation or Inzone Buds. That's definitely not going to work.
Yeah.
So although it may seem for you all that are very well-rounded in your product enthusiasm, there are a lot of customers that want to feel like there was a product designed specifically for their needs, and that's why we have all of those different product touch points.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's an interesting discussion to have too. But yeah, I just wanted to call that out because I get it. I definitely get it. You got something you want to say?
Well, that's a good point. No, I'm just looking at STE. It said Inzone Buds have no latency, which is important for gaming. Yet XM5s doesn't have latency also, or it just can't. I just can't detect it. It's just it's similar technology that's blending these things together because why not?
Yep.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and there are some differences for sure too. But it is an interesting question.
Yep.
Now there was where did this go? Sam had a question. Can we link our Bravia Core accounts from our TVs to the Sony Pictures Core account on PlayStation?
Absolutely. So 2 things. Log in on PlayStation with the exact same login that you use for the Bravia TV. If you don't see any credits or any content that you've already purchased or whatever the case may be, if you could look up right now, Bravia Core FAQ. If you can if you can search that, if you can Google search that, there is an email address towards the bottom that if you have any account issues, email them. I have done this for customers and it's resolved like that. So there's definitely there. And if you're bored, go read the FAQs because there's pages and pages.
It's interesting stuff.
The stuff I learned stuff on there is crazy. So
yeah. Now, before we transition to the next thing, I know those that did actually watch the teaser, we did allude to a product that we don't typically talk about. We haven't really spoken about much. That we affectionately call OCHA. OCHA. Or over-the-counter hearing aids. So just wanted to really just quickly just mention that they exist. We do have the CRE E10 and the CRE C10.
Okay.
And both have very different functions, but I'm going to need a break. If you want to take over for a second,
I can do my best.
To hydrate.
I can do my best.
All right.
This is a great opportune time to be to take care of this on a product that I'm not so versed in, but I can handle this though. Okay. So CRE E10 and CRE C10, if I recall correctly, are 2 over-the-counter hearing aids. If you didn't know what that means, is recently hearing aids or individuals that are challenged with hearing or have that problem, you now can purchase medical-grade hearing aids without the need of a prescription, right? There's different hearing tests and different assessments that can determine sort of like what's the best one for you. And they have some differences, which is one of the things that I wanted to look up real quick for you all. There are some differences between those earbuds and what their purpose is and what they're using for, right? So just really quick, I'm going to run through some of the differences, if I may. So the E10 is more of a traditional earbud style. So if you think about our WF-1000X M5s, our Link Buds S, it looks, or the form factor looks very similar to that. Sort of a thin ear canal entry point and then sort of a circular base on the outside. So it takes and has sort of that normal appearance, whereas the C10 is more of the discrete full in-ear canal hearing aid where you can't really see. As far as some of the big factors that a lot of people want to know about, is like battery life and things of that nature, right? So E10 up to 26 hours, but you get a full charge in the case as well. So a total of 52 hours of battery life when you include being able to recharge in the case. Whereas the C10 gives you up to 70 hours, okay? Let that sink in for a second, okay? From a support standpoint, you've got from an application setup, doesn't matter if you have Android operating system or iOS, you have that ability to utilize that. Now, but where the difference is Bluetooth streaming, okay? The E10 supports, which sort of plays into the fact that it looks more like a traditional earbud. The E10 supports Bluetooth streaming, but only with iOS devices. Sorry,
Right.
Android.
Right.
It's a difference. The C10, however, is not designed to be sort of that multi-purpose product. It is a hearing aid, and it does not support any Bluetooth streaming whatsoever. So those are the big differences between those two. I don't know if there's any questions around it.
Yeah, really just wanted to kind of bring that up, and thank you for taking that. I apologize, I had to step away for a second. But it is cool to kind of see us get into that segment as well, because we understand audio, and that is one of those things that, you know, there's a lot of people that do need those assistants, and being that they are over the counter, it's a little bit different than getting, you know, some of the more expensive fitted ones. But if you do have questions about your hearing, make sure you see a specialist rather than just assume.
Can I add my personal take?
Oh, John has put in the Sony hearing aid test. I was going to mention that as well. So thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Here's the thing. When you think about, unfortunately, the market, society, I don't know how you want to look at it. When you think about hearing aids, we have a tendency to think about, you know, people my age and older, right? You think about, and it puts younger individuals that may struggle with hearing in a weird position.
It does. A lot of people can be really self-conscious about that.
Right. So the E10 was specifically designed in its form factor for those individuals to be able to enjoy the benefits of being able to improve or support their challenges with hearing, but not look like a traditional old school, if you will, hearing aid.
Right.
It looks like a pair of earbuds. So there's too many people suffering in silence, if you will, right? Like there are too many people that's just like, well, I don't want to wear those. I'm going to get teased or whatever the case may be, so I'm just not going to wear them. And the purpose of the E10 was to be able to provide that alternative so you don't have to suffer, but and you can still feel comfortable with your wearing. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I know that's a little bit more of a serious subject, but it is something that is important, and I did want to make sure that I mention it, that it is a thing that we do offer. And again, that's something that if you do want to see if that is a right fit or which one might be a good fit for you, we do have the one-on-one consultation option available in the links in the description, so you can talk to an expert to kind of get a better idea if that's going to be the right solution. But it is a good idea to take the hearing aid test as well.
I like it.
It'll give you a good idea if it is something that's even necessary. But again, it is hearing, so if it is something that's serious, or if you have ear pain as well, like, go see a specialist to make sure before just diving into something like this. So.
Well said.
Hearing is important for sure. I do want to quickly go back because I don't know if we'll get an answer for, oh gosh, where did it go? About the receiver. Where is that comment? I lost it. Here it is. K. McCullough, if you are still here, if you could do me a very, very big favor. If you could, after the live stream is over, you can visit it tomorrow in the Sony Support Live tab on YouTube. Put in a comment just mentioning follow-up, just so we can respond to you and your comment, as well as maybe that's something we should call out too, that if you do not get an answer to the question during the live, or something that we need to revisit, sometimes it's hard because we can't respond to the live comments, but we can respond, and you'll get a notification letting you know that we responded to a comment on the actual video. So feel free to just throw in an extra comment after the video is over the live, so that way it sits there permanently. We can see it, and we can follow up with that to get you an answer if we can. So that's what we should have in kind of going forward for people.
I'm trying to get an answer right now, by the way.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So we talked about Sony Picture Score. So going into the next section, and I know he's not here. Was it? I don't know if he's here. Our friend Mr. Beckerman.
I have not seen not seen Mr. Beckerman.
Okay. Oh, awesome. K. McCullough, thank you. I'm glad you're still here. I appreciate it. Yeah. But yeah, that way it'll give us the ability that if we can't find it, because we do still have a lot to talk about, I don't want to forget about you. So we'll do that. That way we can follow up. We can reach out to people after, because it's after hours. Nobody else is here. So we can do that going in the next couple days. But there have been some questions about Core. And I know it was somebody that mentioned it. I think it was Michael Beckerman, if I'm not mistaken, about the name.
Yeah.
Bravia Core.
Right.
You need to change the name. And I was like, oh, man. There was something Larry said about the name like a couple days before, and I couldn't recall.
Yeah.
And so now we have to talk about what's in a name. Very briefly, at least. Talk about some things. Just a little fun little piece here.
Yep.
Core is an acronym.
It is an acronym.
And I know that since you found it, I will turn this over to you.
Core is an acronym. It's crazy, right? Core stands for Center of Real Entertainment. Sony is an entertainment company. Who knew that, right? Like, it was by design. Right?
You know, it's funny that it's in the FAQs on the website.
It is on the FAQs on the website, which is crazy, right? But we are a content creation company. We have content. And when you think about our philosophy from what Sony Pictures does by trying to deliver artistic expression in movies, what we do at Sony Music, same thing. But with our products, it is preserving that, right? Trying to deliver director's intent, creator's intent. And so whether it's our TV products or the content's created, our products, all of them are the center of real entertainment.
Yeah.
So that resonated with me.
Yeah. No, that was cool. And it was cool and kind of cool to find that. And then I know there was some other stuff. You got ahead of me. That is so funny. That's so perfect.
Okay.
All right. So Malcolm, here's the deal. I could not find MFM HT205. I don't know exactly what it is, but I kept finding the what was
MTM.
it? MTM HT205. Or wait, it was the MFM. That's what it was.
MFM.
You tricked me. You're so sneaky. Yeah. Yes, the MFM H205. Okay, I couldn't find exactly what it is, but I have a theory.
Oh.
Just a theory, right? So thank you for bringing it up, because this is like one of the biggest discussions we had prior to the show. It's talking about this. Here's my theory of what it is. A multi-function monitor and home theater 205.
Yep.
Because I didn't know much about it, because this was kind of not something I was involved with Sony at the time. But I guess it's a monitor that had TV features. So it made sense to me. I was just like, maybe that's what it is. I could be totally wrong, but it sounds cool to me.
It does.
So I hope that's it.
It made sense.
It made sense, yeah.
Who's going to tell you you're wrong? Certainly not me.
Oh, somebody might.
Yeah, they might.
I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was actually kind of an interesting one to go back into. But yeah, I knew that one was going to come up, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. So thank you. I appreciate that. But if there's other ones, we didn't really come prepared too much on that, because I know the next segments we talked about in the teaser when I talked about too much is going to be more of a conversation. And we've already been going for an hour, which is fine. I don't have an issue with it. Wait. Oh, no, go ahead, because there was something I wanted to look for, because I think somebody made a comment.
Game enthusiast. John, can you pop game enthusiast?
That's the one that I saw.
Comment up on the screen, please. All right. Can we couple that with the disclaimer? Thank you very much. Game enthusiast says, hey guys, when is the release window for the Dolby Vision gaming update for A95L? I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, pin this on Larry.
As much as I can say about that, had a conversation recently regarding
very recently
about that, and it's close. I think that's as much as I can say.
Yeah,
it's really close. I don't want to just leave
How frustrated would everybody be if I just cut to black right now?
And then it pops back and it's just Derek sitting up here. But just like in all honesty,
Sam says spill it, but don't get fired, because this show would be super lame by myself. Nobody would watch it.
I don't know about that. What I will tell you is there is a heavy commitment to deliver on all the features for the A95L, and that is one of them that is really top of mind, because the A95L is the world's first and only QD OLED with Dolby Vision gaming. So, man, are we really close. That is as far as I can go to the edge without someone appearing out of the darkness and snatching me up off the screen. So yeah, close.
Or AKA soon, only not yet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Talking
leave
about
it at that.
acronyms. Yeah. So, look, yeah. If we had a date, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I will make a promise though. If we hear about the date prior to our next live stream,
And we're allowed to.
and we're gonna do a short.
Yeah.
We will do a YouTube short. We'll throw it out there. We'll make sure everyone knows. It may not be on the support channel. It may be on the main channel, depending on if we have full approval or not. But we'll definitely get that information out to you guys. So.
Yeah. So comment 2. I had a question or comment. Will Core be made available globally? Because Bravia Core has not been. If you buy an Xperia phone or Bravia TV in one country, but you live in a country where Xperia or Bravia are not sold.
Yep.
And
how that works.
I know we haven't really heard much officially on that, but there's a lot of pieces aligning that leads us to believe.
Yeah.
It's kind of where it's going, but
yeah. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. What I will tell you is when you're talking about, so there's 2 things that can make it a challenge to have a product or a service available in one country or the other. Some of which is some of the licensing or copyrights or whatever the case may be associated with the actual content. Right. Some content is not, it can't be done. Right. And then sometimes there's technology, hardware situations that prevent products from being in certain regions or whatever the case may be. It seems as though with this shift and change to Sony Pictures Core, that the powers that be are ready to make the commitment to expand it. I am still hoping in the US that I can get it on my Xperia 1 Mark V.
that'd be cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of wait. Honestly, we'll have to kind of wait and see. It does sort of look like things are slowly aligning to that, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it is kind of weird how much of a difference it can be from, country to country or region to region, as some things are locked to regions.
Yep.
All right, so we got to shift into the bigger conversation that I mentioned in the teaser. And it's going to be a lot about TV. So if you want to know about some TV stuff, have some questions, this is definitely going to be the time. And, of course, just a quick reminder that if you were watching this when it is not live, good thing you got some sleep, I hope. And let us know in the comments, as Larry and I will be taking a look at them. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion about this potentially. Yes. But I know that Larry wanted to quickly actually flex at this moment.
But this is
Joey, this is for you.
Joey, this is for
flex
you.
time.
Okay, it's flex time, baby. Okay.
John,
okay.
Flex time. The flex.
The flex. From my boy Joey.
Yep, there you go.
So I went to share.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go, do your thing.
So I know earlier I talked about like my TVs and I left one out. Okay. I have been trying to convince my wife to allow me to get just one more TV.
Yeah, because you need it, right?
Because yeah. And last week I was able to get a monster. I now have the 85 Z9K. I feel like that was the missing piece from my arsenal of televisions. And oh baby, oh man, that's my flex. Like that's my TV right there. That's all things me, and I'm really excited about that. I'm good. I don't need another TV for a while, at least till next year.
Yeah, I think you're okay for now. I believe so. But
Man.
yeah, as soon as we were talking about the flex,
Gotta tell Joey.
Larry's like, I got one.
Yep.
And there you go.
Gotta tell Joey.
Everybody round applause. Larry's guns. There you go. Flexing them. Anyway.
One more time.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to some more TVs.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Enough about me. Now it's about the king.
Facts time. And we have to talk about, there might be some questions, but I think it's just, we get a lot of questions about what is the best TV? The fact is that the Sony Bravia XR A95L QD OLED TV did win King of TV for 2023.
TVs. Yes.
Which is pretty awesome. So I think that's that speaks a lot to that question of, is it a good TV? And the cool thing about that is over the course of testing SDR content, HDR content, as well as out of box.
Boom.
That's the one, because I'm one of those people that every time I see these reviews, and I'm like, oh, we calibrated everything. And I'm like, wait a minute. 99.873% of the people, I might be slightly off on that. That was just semi-guesstimate.
I don't think you're exact.
It's pretty close. Do not calibrate their TV.
Right.
And so what is the out-of-box capability?
Right.
And is your white point off by a little bit can affect everything else.
Absolutely.
And I have always known, even prior to being with Sony, when I was selling TVs, that I was like, I knew I could tell people that, yes, out of box, because Mr. and Mrs. Customer that don't care about spending more money to have it calibrated. They just want it to look great out of the box.
Right.
I'm going to get you a Sony TV because I knew it was always going to be great. And that is still the case.
It is.
And I was looking at some of the scoring on that, and I know that on the out of box, we won every single category across the board. I think we tied on one of them.
Yep.
But everything else we won on. So it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it 100%. And I'm one of the maybe the few people that watched the better part of 8 hours.
Game Enthusiast was there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
awesome.
Yep. And totally enjoyed listening to the interviews that were going on. It was very interesting.
I heard a
Very
little bit
interesting.
about that. Yes.
It was sometimes there's confusion on the difference between the electronics division of a company and then maybe the panel display division of the company. And it was very interesting to hear these very unbiased panel division engineers compare multiple TVs, and undoubtedly the consensus was, and I don't want to, this is a rough quote, was like, what Sony is doing with this panel is nothing short of amazing. And it does. More to a Sony television division flex, that's 2023, 2022, 2021, 2019.
Right.
And John always likes to remind me 2018 was a tie.
Oh, yeah.
It's very interesting. I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah, look, it was a whole conspiracy.
That,
People
right.
came in. Anyway, but we are consistently working on building a TV that can handle any testing. All of it. Calibrate, we got you. Not calibrated, we got you. Because to your point, 98.237, I'm sorry, I can't remember. 837, yeah,
like that.
whatever, who's counting, right? But, yeah,
I don't know.
It's amazing that we continue to deliver the goods. I was super excited, and it was a non-scoring category. Imagine if it was a scoring category. It was a non-scoring category, the out-of-box experience, and there was also a test done without the use of the reference monitor also. So
interesting.
Absolutely. So it's just purely the eye test. So it's all great. Like, I mean, clearly from a reference monitor standpoint, we should make sure that we're trying to preserve that because, well,
Yeah.
it's our monitor.
Right. And then that I think that sometimes gets your boy Rob, except he's such a great dude. I love that guy.
Is.
He is hilarious. But it speaks to the fact that we always talk about content creators intent, right? And there's a reason why we make the monitor is to make sure people can realize their intent at the end. And of course, if we have that information of how we made it look this good, why not put that into something that we can offer to the consumers so they can enjoy it the same way?
It's easy to preserve director's intent when you're the one that provided the intent to the director.
That's true. Yep, absolutely.
Just saying.
So that was pretty cool. Oh, sorry, Alan. I know we didn't mention the Xperia Touch. That came up early. I apologize.
Yeah.
I missed that. I actually don't know what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
I did, Alan, just truth be told, about 5 years ago when I was in Tokyo, I saw the, prototype for it. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I did not know that it evolved into a real product.
Interesting.
It was super cool. What I saw in Tokyo was an architecture application where they were moving and stacking using just kind of like your hands on a display screen or on a flat surface or whatever. And I think the beam, I'm trying to remember it. I'm sorry if I'm talking about the wrong product, forgive me. But with the beam on the flat surface, they were able to move objects and stack and bend, and they were able to turn. The demo was turning the home around. It's not even important, but turn it around to see like the direction of the sunlight and how it impacted landscaping. This was silly, but it's 5 years ago, and it still stuck with me. And I thought, if that ever comes out, I want it.
That's awesome.
So I'm interested. You can project a keyboard, yes, and you can type on that as well. Yeah, on a flat surface. It was pretty cool. So
Man.
yeah, I'm gonna look into
That's cool.
it. Yep. Cool.
So, how can companies that don't film a 5-second commercial? How can the companies that don't film a 5-second commercial beat the guys that bring you the Super Bowl every year? Wow, I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I can't deny that at all.
You're welcome.
We got some folks out there
Yeah.
checking us out before
How you
they
doing?
leave. Hi, don't know who that is, but
know.
hope he's having a good night.
Yep.
So we also want to talk a little bit about TV settings,
Yes.
and I put it under facts because we get a lot of questions about best settings, all that stuff. So the facts about like what we do with our TVs. Now, I'm not a calibration person. I never have been.
Okay.
But I wanted to just quickly mention, because this may or may not surprise people, and I might get some flack for it, and I'm okay with that, because realistically, the way that I look at it is everybody sees things a little bit differently.
Right.
I'm more of an audio person generally, and I know that it's very subjective to what people like, but I pretty much do streaming. I don't have TV per se and gaming, and so I'm typically running Dolby Vision Dark.
Okay.
And I actually don't modify much when it comes to that. I did write down one of the features that I did change as I was looking through in the HDR tone mapping with brightness preferred. Now I'm running a 55A80K.
Okay.
I have basement, really dark. I have some bias lighting behind the TV, so I don't have it very bright. 55A80K.
There it is.
Notice that was the 55 and not the 85-inch that Larry has, so flex points over towards Larry there. But I do like to keep things simple, because realistically it does look amazing as is with Dolby Vision, because it's specifically doing what it needs to do to give you the most accurate picture for that particular model TV, because everything actually goes through the process of being, I guess certified is the right term, right? Where Dolby will actually certify a finalized, purchased, or purchasable model going through the certification process of here's the information of how this is actually done. So it's the most accurate it really can be. So most of my content from many of the streaming platforms that I use have Dolby Vision. So Dolby Vision Dark is pretty much where I go. Just to keep it simple. In gaming, I use game mode. And honestly, I typically go through those settings and I don't use motion processing, or if I do, I use it at minimum on both, because I'm one of those people that I can see if there's over artifacting, but we don't really have that issue.
Right.
So I know that, especially on the gaming side of things, the more processes you add input lag.
Yep.
I'm already old enough and delayed enough in my responses, so I don't need a lot of that extra, and it still looks amazing to me. So
100%. Yep.
that's pretty much... That's the only thing I want to call out. Honestly, my TV upstairs is a 950G.
Okay.
Going back a couple of years. Still a beautiful TV, but
Absolutely.
honestly, my wife and my daughter use that most of the time. So, hi, Brayton. I see you.
Another flag.
He doesn't see me. I don't know if he does. But honestly, that one is in standard
Yeah.
for most of the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
My wife could never tell the difference between anything aside from when it goes into Vivid. She's like, it doesn't look quite right. I'm like, okay, thank you. We'll go at least to standard. Keep it simple. So.
Oh man, my pictures. You said something there. My picture settings.
Yes.
Oh man, that was almost a house divided.
Oh, really?
My wife is all about the vivids.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, is she watching?
Hi.
Hi. I'm sorry.
She's all about vivid. But here's what's interesting. So my picture settings on my television, for the most part, right, is in the house we live, we use standard. Okay. What I do know is standard is one of our most scrutinized picture modes, because that is our out of the box setting. So we understand that percentage of customers never even change a picture mode.
I don't change it at all.
Right. Now, I have to tweak some of the settings, right? I dial back a little bit of the color, take a little saturation out of it, still but it looks great. from a motion standpoint. I find a healthy balance. It's different on every TV, but I find a healthy balance between smoothness and clearness.
Yes.
For those that don't know, clearness, if I don't even remember if that's what the settings are on the L series, but clearness is black frame insertion. So you have a tendency, if you bump up clearness, you are improving smoothness by using black frame insertion. But what that does do is it does minimize, or it reduces the brightness just a little bit. Makes sense, right? You start
depending on
adding
how
black
much
frames.
you use of it.
Right. And then smoothness increases frame interpolation, allowing the incredible processor to be able to interpret frames, actual frames in between the real frames, to be able to give you that smooth feel. So you find that balance. Back in the day, it used to be 2-3 for me. I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Now,
I run minimum in 1. That's like the
well,
lowest setting of both.
Yeah, there
personally.
you go. But here's my life hack though.
Ooh.
I don't have an A95L. I don't. I want one, and I'm excited about calm mode. So I have a young daughter, and I've learned that if I have her watch animation at 10 o'clock at night, she's just literally not going to bed. Her sensory, she's just all over the place, right? So I toggle the TV to cinema mode. I drop
It's a lot warmer.
Yeah, I drop panel brightness down to 30. Okay. This is on the A9F. I drop the panel brightness down to 30, and she still gets all of the action and the faces that she loves without like spiking her sensory with all the bright colors. Sleeps like a baby. So, I mean, it's if you can't get an A95L, just understand that these settings are not just for your viewing preference. Sometimes there are adjustments in life. That's no.
Yeah, and it's I like that we have fantastic baselines to start with for anybody to just kind of really just use it out of the box. It's still going to look amazing. And I do like the comment Ronan made about you start with custom and add some tweaks to it. Prior to a lot of the game enhancements and using 4K 120, which kind of locks you into some limitations there. That's what I used to do. I didn't used to use game mode on my A1E that I had previous, and I actually did put it in custom and just add little bits and pieces here and there to make it just right, because the game mode was very different then than it is now. So it's evolved for sure. And I appreciate that comment though too. Gotta love Sony TVs for one thing. No lime green grass when watching football. LMAO. Now I want to just very quickly tell a great story.
Okay.
This is going back to the days of I know one of our biggest sellers in the store I was in was the 850D, 75X 850D. So this is going back a couple years. And in the room where we had all these big TVs, every Sunday we would turn football on. And of course, everybody comes in, everybody's got to watch and stop and check them out. We sold a lot of the 75X850D because it was a big TV and everybody saw versus the competitors how natural it looked. And I was like, which one do you prefer? And they're like, oh my gosh, why does it look like I'm there? It's like, that's because that's what Sony does. All right, I'll take two. That didn't happen very often, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it makes a big difference.
100%.
Sports fans.
There you go. Football fans.
I cut you off though. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, and I completely forgot what I wanted to say, but it's okay.
Perfect. Good.
I'm accustomed to that. That's what you do. No, but it's okay. It'll come to me.
Okay. Well, we'll go on to kind of the last segment. Bite-sized guides. There it is. Just really quickly, just to kind of talk, and maybe we can cut this into like a short if we do it right. To talk about what are the different modes, picture modes on a Sony TV, and why are they there? Vivid, we'll start with that. That is a retail experience. I don't know if anybody can justify any other reason to it aside from the fact that every retailer that I've ever been in, they always run everything in Vivid. It's bright in there. I mean, these lights are pretty intense on us, and that can actually make TVs look a little washed out or not quite as impressive. But people don't have that lighting in their home.
Right.
And the saturation is just cranked up. Right. And personally, because I know there are some people out there that like Vivid, and that's okay. But not me. I do like more the realistic look, and but it is there for a reason to really kind of draw. We have to be honest. we are bugs to a bug zapper
100%.
when we look at shiny, bright things in a store.
100%, yes.
It doesn't matter what it is. Like, oh, it's bright and shiny. We just, you know, just got to gravitate towards
Can you
it.
do that again? There it is. There it is.
Yeah. It's just weird. It does bother me. I'm not going to lie. It did bother me so much when I was in a store because I knew, and this is prior to joining Sony.
Okay.
Because I knew what Sony was capable of. And I have owned different brands over the years based on deals I could get.
Okay.
But it was one of those things that I knew in my heart of hearts, I knew that what we were showing in stores was not the true experience to what most people would experience because they were going to leave it in standard.
Right.
And it just broke my heart sometimes when they would go a different direction.
Yep.
Saddened me deeply.
100%. And I know, and look at you, so much empathy for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's why standard is such an important picture mode, right? It's because, unfortunately, we both experienced that just in the retail space where customers buy bright, shiny object, take it home, and it's not bright and shiny anymore. And they're like that used to, for a long time, that was like the most common reason for a return was, how come my TV doesn't look like that?
Yep.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yep.
And that wasn't a Sony thing. So, yeah, but the picture modes are crazy. So vivid, standard, cinema, game,
and custom.
and custom. Can I mention something about game mode? I can't remember which comment or
Not at all.
what video this was, but someone asked, how come on game mode can you not make picture setting adjustments that show a significant difference in picture quality? It's very interesting. Game mode is designed to deliver the lowest latency.
Right.
And so understand that some things, if you want some of those changes, don't do game mode, go to custom mode and tweak it accordingly.
Right.
That's the key. That's why
that's the cool way to do that. And I shout out to Ronan for looking at that approach. And it's a great way to talk to fellow people who are looking for a TV that, especially when it comes to gaming, you want that minimum input lag. And that's where the game mode really has been designed for that. So it's not so much of an issue now. But honestly, you start at custom, you can start adding all those features to exactly what you want if you really want to. You don't necessarily have to go through a full calibration process. But
No, 100%. That's it.
Yep. There some interesting little comments.
I
here.
know it's a lot on here. Yeah, I'm looking at them also.
65 930C. Malcolm had to move that. I don't envy you at all on moving that. But yes, that was a gorgeous TV. But
You know what we didn't talk about with picture modes is the difference on A95L compared to the rest of the TVs when it comes to picture modes.
True. Yes, and without having a ton of hands-on experience with it, but yes, that is going to be different.
Cool.
And I know we're going to be making a video about that
Yes.
when we can. But
Yes.
if you want to go ahead and sorry, I don't want to steal your thunder.
No. Just in brief, right? So on every other TV, you have picture modes. On the A95L, it has content source or content type, and then a unique set of picture modes according to that. So if you're, for example, if you're in game mode, now your picture settings are standard gaming,
I think so.
FPS, and RTS.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are in movie, I think it's listed as movie or TV. I think it's movie or TV. Sorry. Then you get your list of the ones we just walked through, right?
Yep.
Then if you're in photo
is different too, right?
now you get professional. You get some other settings in there because, like, we understand that you buy a TV that's traditionally designed for content watching, movie, TV, so on and so forth. People are playing games more than ever on there, so you want that. But then now also, which has started to creep up a lot, is using some of the smaller televisions for photo editing and things of that nature.
Color accuracy is so important.
Color accuracy is important. So it's a different experience between, like what the TV is naturally trying to do. And now color accuracy has to be dialed in.
Yes.
So having those different modes specifically for that is thing. Anyway, so I just didn't want us to not talk about another great thing about the A95L.
Yeah. I do want to
By the
address
way, just want to add, I know some guys that made a short about that. That's live right now, actually.
we went into some of the detail, but
It's
not
high
a ton
level.
of it.
It was a high level. Did you
Well,
know?
the full video's coming.
Full
Oh,
video
true.
is
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
coming.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was on the fly. We winged it. I know. We made it work.
More to come.
Alan made a great comment.
Okay.
So I took a picture with my Xperia using the Pro app. So they have like the Video Pro and the Camera Pro. app on there showed the difference in how our skin tone and color looked natural and realistic by comparison, and then made another comment where Sony should really market Xperia phones from that angle, which is interesting because there really isn't a ton of marketing behind Xperia as is, but honestly, that's one of the few things, at least when we get our information, that's one of the things that they really talk about a lot. Yep. And you're right. And it is one of those things that, I don't know, maybe it's just a different approach is needed, but yeah, spread the word, because you're absolutely right. That makes a very, very big difference in seeing, it maintains the skin tone much better than much of the competition out there for sure.
Along those lines, I have kind of a crazy did you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do have a did you know.
Improv, did you know?
Yeah, just an improv one, right? Did you know that our implementation of the professional photography experience on the Xperia 1 Mark V has gotten so close to alpha, talking about the experience, okay, that, and it's a small thing, but focus peaking, I came across that, and it was the craziest thing in the world.
Focus peaking, yeah.
So
many people don't even know that's
so focus peaking, sometimes when for those that don't know, you're looking through your alpha camera, and you're trying to make sure everything is in focus, and then you can select a color. I always opt for red, and it puts these little red lines around everything, and it's like everything is in focus that's in red, right? The experience on cell phones, like, sure, it's everything is in focus that I want, and I'm tapping this and I'm, doing all those different things. But the addition of focus peaking, and for that person that wants a pocket-sized pro style experience in photography, it was a pretty cool discovery, and I did not know that was on there.
Yeah, it is a great feature. There are so many things that Sony cameras have that I feel that, where do you draw the line for the things you want to talk about? Because then it just becomes sounds like filler, right? That it's not important, but that is one of those things that, and focus peaking, there's focus assist on some of the alpha cameras too, which is really cool. There's all sorts of those crazy features that you can use. That's more did you knows for next time. Yeah, we can do for sure. But yeah, and what did I just read? Thinking about possibly trying. Sam says I suddenly can't read. I was thinking about possibly trying the next flagship drop for Xperia next year, all about ecosystem and connectivity between my devices. It's one reason I like Apple. Yeah, I totally respect that. That does make things a little bit more complicated. And, if it works for you, I really can't complain. And
it's not 100%, right? And we do things, and I know this because I can go long-winded on things, right? But it does things differently. There's two sides of it. There's an ecosystem where there's a interconnection and usage between products. That I see that's one of the more traditional ecosystems. Then there's an ecosystem of shared technology. So there's as many people watching same streaming content on the go on their cell phone as at home. Right. So when you have a processor or with TV that's just dominated, and then you integrate like X1 mobile, I'm not sure what processor we're on right now, right? But when you're taking, I always looked at Xperia as sort of like the embodiment of all of Sony. There's elements of Apple. There's Alpha. Jeez. Come on, Larry. There's elements of Alpha. There's elements of Bravia. There's elements of PlayStation. There's elements of all that we do all in one device on the go. And I think that is sort of a Sony story when you look at our Xperia line, in my opinion. I know I'm in the minority of being like a huge Xperia fan, but man, we make a great phone, and I just wish more people knew it.
Yeah. Just an update on that one. It's the new Xmore T, but that's only on the 24mm camera.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, FYI, that's one of the new ones that it'd be interesting to see if that evolves into one of the Alpha line, because it's typically how a lot of that goes. Is a lot of these newer sensor types and new technologies start in an Xperia, and they kind of get evolved into the larger scale for an Alpha with the great features that they offer. So
Cool.
Let's see. Malcolm says, "Hey, Sony, just throwing this out there. Update the A7 hard to." Yeah, I like that. Haha. But seriously, yeah, I'm with you on that. At this point, with how old that camera is, I'm sure we might be running into hardware limitations that prevent some of the newer features. But unfortunately, I can't say that for sure. So, but yeah, I think we should probably just about wrap up. Why doesn't Sony market Xperia phones with carriers? I don't think I have an answer for that.
I have a theory.
Okay, theories. Okay.
I have a theory. John?
Disclaimer.
All right. Here's my theory. If you notice the marketing from carriers for phone providers, you've got one Android phone and one iOS phone. Because that is a clear division, it's almost like a non-competitive space. Right. It is, who is your customer? We can accommodate both. If you tried to introduce, I don't know how contracts work, but imagine the conflict, imagine the conflict that would exist if now a carrier introduces another Android phone, and now customers could pick and choose which one has the best features, have the best specs. So you have to imagine that contractually, there's probably some sort of a non-compete or, kind of a situation. That's my theory. I've been sitting on this notion that might be the reason why.
Interesting.
Because they would upset an existing partner if they introduced a new partner. That's my theory.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know beyond that. That is an interesting question. I don't have an answer to, unfortunately, but it's a good question too. Okay. But I think we should pretty much wrap up at this point.
I had so much more I wanted to say.
That we got to save something for next time, and there'll be so much more to say.
You're right, I know.
But I do want to thank everybody who is still here, because it has been a long one again, as per usual. I guess that's kind of our track record here.
Yeah, it is.
And thank you, everybody who has stuck around this long. And those of you who are watching after the fact and be like, oh, I've got some good questions too. You can either put something into the comments, because Larry and I will be checking that out for the next month or so.
Yes.
But or you can also join us in the next one, ask some questions. We would love to hear some feedback as well. And also, what would you like us to cover? We have a lot of ideas, but we do want to make this is about you guys out there and how we can support you better. And I know there are certain limitations to what we can do as far as certain support questions, but we'll be there to do the best we can at the very least. You have a good time. We talk about some interesting things, some technology, introduce it to some new products that have recently come out, and some fun facts to learn and all that good stuff. But thank you, Larry, for your time.
No, thank you, dude.
John, I know you don't feel back there.
I know you don't feel good, man.
Oh,
so I appreciate you being here.
And I got to get up, and I don't know. I'm confused by time, because this says that I'm in the future. Versus where I'd be at home. But
right.
But yeah, thank you guys that are still here. Alan, STE, Sam, Joey B. I don't want to miss anybody. Malcolm, of course, too.
Yep.
I don't want to miss anybody. I apologize. Those have been some of the more Ronan. Yes, been quiet for a minute, but that's okay. I forgive you. But thank you guys all for being with us again. We appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the next one. But yeah, please let us know what else you want to see.
Yep.
What else you got, Larry? Got anything?
That's it. Clearly, he said everything. So all I can tell you guys is good night, be safe, and we'll catch you next time.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.